Hello, everyone. It's Mr. Kissinger at the Citizenship Academy in Syracuse, New York. This is 5th grade math, module 3, lesson 10. We're going to be adding fractions with sums greater than 2. So we'll look at letter A here. It says 2 1/4 plus 1 1/5. So I'm going to expand this out, and I'm going to add my whole numbers, and then I'm going to add my fractions. Make this 2 plus 1 plus 1/4 plus 1/5. Because I'm adding, I can do that. That's a good property. Doesn't matter which order I add these in. I know that 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 1/4 plus 1/5. Now I need to find like denominators for 1/4 and 1/5. I'm going to do my multiples of 4 here on the side. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I'll do my multiples of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 5. I see I have 20 right here. I'm going to use 20 as my common denominator. Now, if I want to make 1/4 into 20ths, 1/4, well, 4 times 5 is 20, so I need to multiply my numerator times 5. And then 1/5, 5 times 4 equals 20, so I need to multiply my numerator by 4. Here I'll get 5 20ths is 1/4, and 4 20ths. I'll bring down my 3. Now that I have like denominators, I can add together. So I'm going to add my numerators up. I get 9 20ths. We can just express that as 3 and 9 20ths. All right, let's do letter B. It says 2 3/4 plus 1 2/5. So I'm going to write it like this time. 2 3/4. I'm going to leave myself some space. Plus 1 2/5. Well, we already know that our common denominator between 4 and 5 is going to be 20. So I'm just going to multiply this by 5 to get 20. Multiply my numerator by 5. And on the top. 20 on the bottom. I need to multiply 5 by 4 to get 20. So I need to multiply my numerator by 4. 8 on the top. Now I have 2 15 20ths plus 1 8 20ths. So I'm going to add my 2 and my 1. I get 3. I add 15 20ths and 8 20ths. And that's going to give me 23 20ths. Now, I have a greater number in my numerator than I do in my denominator, so I need to simplify that. I can make it a mixed number. I'm going to split that to 20 20ths. And 3 20ths. So now I have 3 plus 20 20ths, which is 1, and 3/20. And we'll end up with 4 and 3/20. That's our answer. So I'm doing the same thing here and here, just a couple of different ways to show it. We'll move to letter C here, and we have a different pair of denominators here. So this is going to be a little bit different. We'll start with 1 1/5 plus 2 1/3. Now, to find a common denominator between fifths and thirds, I'll start by skip counting by fives. 5, 10, 15. Well, there's 5 times 3, so I can stop. Unless I find something that's smaller than 5 times 3 when I do my multiples of 3, I'm not going to need to use that. So I'll do 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So it looks like 15 will be our lowest common denominator. There's nothing lower than that that's going to make things easier for us. So I'm going to multiply my 5 times 3 to get 15. I'm going to multiply my 1 times 3 in my numerator. And I'm going to end up with 3. So let's go one big bracket around here. I'll end up with 3 and 15. So 1 3/15. Now I have 2 1/3. I'm going to have to multiply my 3 by 5 to get 15. So I have to multiply my numerator by 5 as well. I get 5. Now I get 5/15 here. So I have 1 3/15 plus 2 5/15. That's going to give me 3 and 8/15. All right. See, I like to add my whole numbers first, and then I add my fractions afterward. Letter D. We have 4 2/3 plus 1 2/5. We know that our common denominator between 3 and 5 is going to be 15. So 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. 10/15. And then I need to multiply by 3. Multiply by 3. And we get 6 in our numerator and 15 in our denominator. And we're going to end up with 5 and 16/15. About 16/15. I can change to 15/15 plus 1/15. 15/15 is just 1. So I have 5 plus 1 plus 1/15, which is going to give me 6 and 1/15. All right, and let's try a word problem next. One here on the next page for us. Yeah, first let's try one of these ones with the bigger numbers here. We'll do 15 1/5 plus 3 5/8. So we have 15 1/5 plus 3 5/8. Let's try to find our common denominator here. I'm going to start by doing 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. Well, 5 times 8 is 40. And I don't see any multiples of 5 here. Nothing that ends in a 5 or a 0. I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and 40 looks like is going to be our lowest common denominator between the two of them. I don't see any smaller numbers that'll work. So we're going to change both of these to 40. 5 times 8 is 40. 1 times 8 is 8. So we get 8/40ths here. And 5/8, we need to multiply 8 by 5. We need to multiply 5 by 5. We're going to get 25/40ths here. We'll add our whole numbers first. We'll do 15 plus 3, which is 18. And then we'll add our fractions. And we're going to end up with 33/40ths. And that'll be our answer. All right, now we'll move on to our word problem. Before I start my word problem, I'm going to write R, D, W here on the side of the page. My R stands for read, so I'm going to read my problem. It says, Erin jogged 2 1/4 miles on Monday. Wednesday, she jogged 3 1/3 miles. And on Friday, she jogged 2 2/3 miles. How far did Erin jog altogether? 2 1/4 miles, 3 1/3 miles, and 2 2/3 miles. I'm going to make a tape diagram here. I'm done reading, so I'll cross out my R. I'm going to make a tape diagram, and I'm going to split my tape diagram into 3 parts. And first part is 2 1/4. This was Monday. And then 3 1/3. And this is Wednesday. And I have 2 2/3. And that's Friday. Now I need to figure out all together here how far she ran in miles. So I should probably put my labels in here. Miles. So we remember what we're working with. And to figure out the total, I'm going to need to add all these together. So we are adding. I'm going to do 2 1/4. Give myself some space. Plus 3 1/3. Give myself a little space there. Plus 2 2/3. My common denominator between those 3 is going to be 3 times 4, which is 12. So 4 times 3, I need to multiply my numerator times 3, and I will get 3 12. So 2 3/12. I need to multiply by 4 on the bottom here to get to 12, 4 on the top, and I'm going to end up with 4/12. And then my last one here, I need to multiply by 4 on the bottom, 4 on the top. And I'm going to end up with 8/12. All right, so I can add all 3 of my whole numbers together here. I'm going to get 3 plus 2 is 5, plus another 2 is 7. And then when I add my fractions, I'm going to have 3/12 plus 4/12 plus 8/12. For me, I think it'd be easier to add the 8 and the 3. I'll use my biggest number, my smallest number. That'll be 11 plus another 4 is 15. So I'm going to have 7 15/12. and 15 is greater than 12, so I'm going to need to simplify that. I'm going to make that 7 plus 12 twelfths plus 3 twelfths. And that will be a 1. 12 is 1. So I have 8 and 3 twelfths. Now, 8 and 3 twelfths would be all right, but if we wanted to simplify that a little bit more, some of you might have noticed we can divide both of these by 3. And if we can divide, we can divide both of them by 3. And if we can divide both the numerator and the denominator, we can simplify the fraction. As long as we can divide them by an equal amount, because 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So we would end up with 8 and 1/4. Because 1 times 3 would be 3, and 4 times 3 would be 12. Those would be equivalent fractions. That's just a simpler version of it. We're done with our drawing. Now, what I'm going to do last here, where my W is, I need to write my answer in sentence form. Aaron jogged 8 and 1/4 miles altogether. All right, and then we're done with our W. So that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.